to our channel. The natural. Hello, good morning. Welcome to our channel. This is Natural Connection with the Shaman. I'm your host, Shaman Odin Grey Wolf, and I'm here live with our co-host Jamie Jette for today's episode about time. Now, it's just this came out of a random belief that I have about time, but we're going to go into just a few different topics about time. So sit back, enjoy yourself, and if you like, let us know where you're from in the chat room, and if you have any questions. So I'm going to hand it over to Jamie now. Jamie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Jette from Shangri-La on Hollywood up here, and I'm also a co-facilitator with Stargate Sound Medicine, where my partner and I have collaborated for almost 2 years now. We're going on 2 years, and she and I, we do something different. We didn't want to call it sound bath, but now we went and Bob Googled it. We didn't show up. It's because we don't use the word sound bath. Excuse me. That's my sound partner. Um, and so told we're just gonna have to bite the big one and just fall into it. I mean, it's our own medicine. As medicine women, we have to learn to take the medicine as well that the universe is giving. So we had to categorize it as sound bath. But anyway, at least now we're indexing. That business coach that I talked to this morning, she said, I was a little surprised you didn't index. And I said, we remedied that a couple weeks ago. So anyway, and also I'm a facilitator of a grieving support group on Mondays. It's called Life Reflection Cafe. And myself losing my beloved son. I didn't lose him actually, but he took his own life almost 7 years ago. And I literally walked in a grieving coma. So I'm out of it. And I've experienced some really cool things. And there is something beyond this physical body form. So that's what I do on Monday. So, and I do this with John on Tuesday. So welcome, and make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell because
Yes.
we're going to go into it that we're going to forget at the end. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
everybody who shares this with people.
And thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Jamie Jette has experienced a very, I could never imagine what it could be like to lose a child. Um, I know my grandmother, who lost my blood father. She has never lost grieving, and I have an aunt who just recently lost her son like 3 years ago, and the weight is tremendous. So bravo for coming through on that. And how you said we don't lose. I've always found too, like when someone passes over, the soul is stronger than they were in the physical form. Even it's like a nonstop constant communication with them. It's really interesting. I like that.
It is cool. Hi, Cheryl from Needles, California.
Hey, you made it to Needles, huh? Getting close. Cheryl's on her way out to Quartzsite, Arizona for the week to have some downtime with her nomad friends at La Posa North, I believe. Hello, S. Leela. Welcome, welcome. S. Leela, aren't you the one from UK or Ireland? And George Kuros. What up, George? How you guys doing?
Sure.
Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Lita.
Thank you, everybody, for your time. So, what we're speaking of time, we were talking about this last week. Oh, the UK, okay. And I had said I don't believe that the past is. I believe that the past is the future, or the future is the past. I kind of believe that we're in some kind of time loop where our technology reaches such a point that we kind of have to reboot and start over again. So, if you think in that lines of like we evolve so high to where we become kind of a pseudomorphed body, humanoid shape, and we become what we think are the grays or because the grays and the reptilians, they're from Earth. They're not from outer space. They're not alien. There are other star races, but the Greys and the reptilians, they're Earth based. This was their planet. So I wonder, and like I said, it's just a silly belief I have, but time does have different eras. Like just the difference between our 1 year on Earth and the same amount of time on Mars is actually equivalent to 2 years our time. So if we travel to Mars, we lose all that time. Hello, 907 Thunder and Stacy Stoles 8722. How in the Jesus do you know that? Well, I don't know that. It's just a silly belief that I have. But
Me
if
too.
you look at
Because,
it,
yeah, I'm sorry. When you do look at it,
yeah, when you look at it, the technology that we unearth, we dig up this technology that obviously there was laser precision, there was very precise mathematical engineering. It only makes sense. We must get to a point in our life where we evolve so high that we have to reboot it. Because if we don't, then our Earth could just spiral into chaos. A year is one revolution around the sun. Yeah, and if you travel out of our Earth, right? So space travel is different. Time goes completely out of the surface when you space travel. When you let's say you go to Saturn, do you know how many years have went by on Earth that would only take you 1 year to get to Saturn? That was there's like I don't remember the math. I could look it up really quick, but time does only first of all, time is the measurement of two objects passing each other. So that is where time comes from. We live in a solar system where multiple planets surround one star, right? But it's just a measurement of movement from one distance to another. Now, each planet, as you go further out from the sun, has way more. What in the words? Okay, what in the word salad? So I don't know. I'm not a physicist, but I do know that time is a little trippy. I look at life like we are on a evolutionary loop, and every time the world gets filled with so many people, like 9 billion, they reboot the Earth again to go back to 7 billion people, and then we start over. So those are my thoughts on the time loop. What about you, Jamie? Have you experienced anything with?
oh yeah. And I'm telling myself that your viewers have as well. I'm This, for instance, is a really simple example for myself. Some days, those days that you know that you have so much to do and you're just really wishing that there was more than 24 hours in the day. But all of a sudden, there are some days every time you look at the clock, it's like, wait, it only moved a minute or two? Well, whoa, it's going to be one of those kind of days where time almost slows down. And then, of course, there are days, and I know we've all witnessed it, is it's oh my God, every time you look at the clock, it's out an hour later. Wait, what happened to the time? So that's where I've experienced the loop in time. Now, Bob and I are listening to this woman's book, Conversations with Nostradamus, and she wrote these. She really channeled conversations with this guy from the 1500s. So he was able to come up to where she was in 88, and she was able, there's some kind of place in between where it was like a gray area, a misty area where there wasn't any time. It was just consciousness. So it's the quatrains. Everybody has, they think they've tried to decipher Nostradamus's predictions, but no, he created these quatrains, these little clippings, words, and he hid them from the church because it was very volatile. If he's they would have burn him at the stake, if you will, because he was speaking, but into the future. He could see the future. So was the future really? But now this gal, Dolores Cannon, is talking to somebody in the past. So that's why I'm like, whoa, there is something that is beyond these eyes, these eyeballs that
Yeah.
have, and they keep saying it's meditation, meditation, meditation. I mean, I told Bobby I want you to get me one of those alcohol things because apparently this guy Nostradamus, he meditated in a blue flame, and we
Yeah.
have all heard about the blue flame, the pink flame, and the white flame. Well, I thought that was kind of cool. I don't have one yet, so I can't try to see if I can travel in time or see into it. Um, but anyway, yeah, that was a long story short of sometimes time goes really slow, and we've had those long days. And then there are times it's like, holy crap, it's it's going by so fast. Now, I've learned something from a theta teacher of mine years ago that he said we can physically take and reverse time to slow down.
Yeah.
However, it is very, very important to make sure that you bring, once you've accomplished or gotten what you needed done, completed within that reversal of time, very important to sit and consciously put the time back to where it was. I have no idea why that was important. I didn't stay in the class that long, but in that, I remember him saying, we as human beings have the capacity, the power, and the consciousness that is able to manipulate time, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, we really do. And I got a couple of comments. First, we got a comment from a troll named Jack McKnight. Stay in school. This is where ancient aliens, vague spirituality, and scientific illiteracy meet. Well, we would love to hear a scientific explanation from you, Jack. I'm sure you're a highly renowned scholar. Then we have Crazy Fox Lover. This has to be in I pre-recorded video. No, we're live right now. And George got jokes. Thank you, George. 907 Thunder. What time is it in an adventure of mankind? True, time is. That's what Jamie was explaining. And then down here with S. Leela, she says that twice when she was in meditation, the time went back 19 minutes, and the second time by 45 minutes. Very interesting. It does. And that's where we see like these we talk about shamans of the past times and coming up with these visions of the future, and that's where it comes together. If you ever do meditate like Leela and Jamie were just talking about, time can stand still, it can move faster, you can go back in time, you can go in the future, but it's still by being present. Once we leave this body, there is no real record of time. You can stand over yourself, and I've went to the other side before in my life, and you can travel different dimensions and eras at the same, like just by a thought, having one thought in your mind, and it'll transfer you there. So really, I just wanted to talk about some of the it's elevated states of consciousness. Bradley Bear says, yes, it is. Do satellites prove that the future exists? I don't know, but I do know that satellites, when they're outside of our atmosphere, they travel, and they go faster than our time. And I don't remember the exact time they do, but let me see. What is time outside Earth's atmosphere? Hang on, atmosphere. Satellites do time travel when they're out there in the void, because our Earth travels at one speed. How long
Mm.
is Earth a? So the satellites do, where was that? Satellites do prove time travel, because for every 1 hour that we have here on Earth, only 0.99999 of an hour has passed. So it's just a few seconds delay difference, but that is just satellites move faster in time. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, K Elf and 907 Thunder. So, anyways, we're getting off course here. Time travel. What do you believe about time travel? So, Jamie just explained about Nostradamus, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's all a state of mind. And the more that you sit down and be present and tap into meditation, the more you will see how this works. You lose track of time, or when you're having fun, like having a good conversation on the phone, and then all of a sudden an entire hour has gone by. Yeah, time kind of is BS.
Yeah, but there's a reason why, like a lot of things here are created by man, and it's I find it interesting. That's a good something for me to even look even deeper because what is it? The Farmer's Almanac followed the seasons, which is the time, but it wasn't like minute by minute, second by second. It was the season by season, and I believe the indigenous did as well. So that's something to think about when actually. I'm sure one of your viewers will know is that you know what was the first measurement of time, and I know we had this sound dollar. I know back then that was created to see how the sun moved on our planet. But yeah, that would be kind of curious. And then now that I'm retired, it's really interesting my perception of time because um, I I don't know how I do all that I do now, and I worked a full time job. It's just really odd how a lot of this is affecting us. I'm sorry, I can't. What
I
reaching?
know.
This is
Honestly,
great.
this for the first time we've had like a good rapport in the chat, and it's kind of been throwing me off too. But I love it. Thank you guys for all your comments. This is great stuff I'm reading here as we're going.
Oh, I
Um,
love that. Time is an experience. Yeah, touche.
yeah,
Wow, I like it. I think that's a nice way for myself to look at it. So thank you very much.
and like somebody, I'm still trying to catch up in the chats, but I don't know where the first clock was. I believe it was in Rome somewhere, but it is about following the sun. The sun marks the hours, and then the moon marks the minutes. That's where we got the word minute from. And a lot of the farmer's almanac is based off of that druidic lunar cycle I was telling you about. We'll start here coming up 3 days before this new moon. That is, I'm glad you brought that up to a point, as a matter of fact, because the old farmers, they used to farm by the lunar phases, the lunar cycle. So let me catch up with these really quick. Scammers a couple of times came up in the chat. So if you guys are calling out a scammer, thank you very much. Time is following the sun. It only started when mankind started. Exactly. That's what I was getting to. Mankind started time because before that, the human body actually has its own time when it sleeps and when it wakes. And you have to tap out of time, really. Like I got the luxury of doing this, but it wasn't a luxury. I was injured and I couldn't really do much. And my understanding of this was letting my body naturally tell me when it was time to sleep and when it was time to be awake. And that would go, I found it to be tapped in with the lunar cycles. And you would have, instead of having one long period of 8 hours sleep, I would have like 4 hours in the midday and 6 hours at night. And it's a whole different thing when you tap out of recorded time and let your body be the judge of time. You can
Yeah.
alter the past from the present is exactly what I was trying to say earlier before the comments started coming in. In meditation, you can alter reality. So if you look at this, look at the Mandela effect, and instead of like it's a conspiracy theory, look at it as a different timeline. Okay, so the reboot after time has went forward, right? And the future is actually the past because we have to reboot. then this earth would have different small alterations here and there. Things be spelled different. People disappear, new people appear. People who died haven't, things like that. Those little tiny differences help us realize that we did jump a timeline somewhere. And the more you catch on to it, the more it you find out that we're constantly jumping timelines. And that is the same as altering the past from the present.
Yeah, but I
You
want to learn how to do that.
you do it every time you meditate.
I just, yeah, I just want to, I want to learn how to do that.
So focus on something that you would like to change about the past. And
Mm.
then meditate on it for like a whole month. A whole month. You can do that every 2 days. Focus on that and then look for the little Mandela effect clues in timeline. Like it's not going to be so you're not going to stop Hitler, right? You're not going to make any huge changes, but you'll have little tiny butterfly effects. And reality does change in some strange ways. And then dude says, "Bro, my butt hurt from staying at a friend's house yesterday. Do I have diabetes?" I don't know, man. You have to check your blood sugar to find out if you have diabetes. Sorry to hear about your butt hurting from sitting at a friend's house. Time is an experience. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Get out of here with that BS. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And now whoa, no, okay. If enough pepper believes something about the past, then they can manifest the evidence to prove their beliefs. That's actually a good point. Okay, we can actually manifest things in our lives based off of belief really strongly. This is why I try to stay off of too much social media because I like to stay in my beliefs, right? And I know that my beliefs are probably doctored up from my parents, my family, my experiences, because you do manifest a reality. It's just like the old thing I always talk about. If you want to go buy a Mustang, all of a sudden, the exact model Mustang, even down to the color, you'll start seeing everywhere in the world. Why? Because you're creating it, you're manifesting it. So if you believe some things, you can make yourself believe you're sick. You can also make yourself believe you are healed. You can do a lot of amazing things with the mind, and it all comes back to focusing your energy in one spot.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you guys so much for your comments. I've never had this many in the chat. At first it was throwing me off, but I think we're getting it now.
Okay. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
The
There's
real
some good
question is what's the best ending in Elden? I don't know. I never played. I played Elden Ring before, and that game was so hard that I was just like, I'm done. Okay,
So
so
I
and
thought
Cheryl says, so if we were to alter the past, wouldn't that affect where we are now? For instance, if I was able to change Jim's death, I would never be in Las Vegas and I know I belong here. Yeah. Well, see, like you can't really make drastic manifest changes like that. This isn't a science fiction movie. What happens is we make small, subtle changes in reality. And over the long haul, if you do it, it's more of a way to guide to a better life. That's the point of it all. When you, any kind of meditation practice is about living a better life. So, in order to do that, we have to kind of alter our past lives, which could just be the past because it's not, nothing is real except for right now, right? So if you can tap into that past lifetime and slowly alter the changes, you can live a better life.
I
Sounds like a
kind of
fun.
agree with I agree with Cheryl because I've done a lot of past life regression and uh, yeah, this is a tough one. And this sounds so judgmental. I apologize in advance. It's not my intention. But for myself, um, I don't know that I would want to go and change anything in the past. Because I do believe that the combination of those experiences, and someone said time is experience, which that's beautiful for me.
Yeah.
That experience helped my consciousness or my soul or whatever we're discovering about ourselves to be right here, right now. Now, are there some circumstances in this life that I would like to rewrite? Oh, yeah. But that's not that's that's not going to change my future if
Yeah.
I don't allow it to change my future. So I like what Cheryl said, because there's a fine line of going back and meditating and changing your past, or what about the idea of just connecting to your past instead of wanting to change it? Just kind of review your past. When you go into meditation, you really get to see that, to see, oh, so that's this part of me now that came with me. And I told you before, I'm still all this DNA stuff that we're bringing in with us from the other side, if you will, to put it in simple terms. Somehow I'm telling myself those past lives are all in here. And there's a guy named Richard Rudd, and he wrote the Gene Keys. He's going to be here in Vegas in a couple months. He's got now an app. He's got a hell of a great book. But he talks about all the DNA that is in us. It's the times. So I don't know. I'm with Cheryl. I don't want to go and change that. I just want to review it to understand why I am. So with Jim's death,
That's,
Cheryl's right. She wouldn't be here. So again, that's all part of the moving parts and pieces of where we're all just walking each other home. What does that look like for you? What does that look like for me? It may be different, but it's so. I'm telling myself that it's all the collective that has brought us right here. And with the Ian or the near death and the people that come back, or get reincarnated. There's some space. Some people come right back and get reincarnated, and then others it takes a 1 to 400 years to come back. So
yeah. Or in another form. So that's where I was trying to get to. They could come in another form, be the same exact looking, speaking, feeling, energetic person, only it could be a different sex than it was last time. Now, I want to bring this comment up because it made me laugh. Because exactly why, when people do past lives, do people find out they were a plumber or an accountant? So I think what they meant to say is, why don't people ever find out like they were a plumber or they were an accountant? They're always like Queen Elizabeth or Cleopatra or something phenomenal, right? Well, that's how you can tell they're not really doing past life regressions. That's the ego trying to heal itself by glamorizing a past life. I actually did have a past life, my own, going back on past lives, where I wasn't much. I was a farmhand on a vineyard in France. I was a drunk and I loved cigarettes and I was very promiscuous with women. So I do understand that. So it's not always, but it does. When I find the more glamorous the past life regression is, the more wounded a person is in this life right now. So when they're wounded, they're trying to heal. So I never judge anybody who's like, I was Cleopatra, I was King Tut. I don't judge. I see the wound inside and I see what they're trying to heal. And just allow them to process their grieving however they can. I know that, like, if I was a past life regressions teacher and I was doing that and telling people you were these glamorous things, that would be my bad for teaching them to spiritually bypass. So that was an interesting comment, and that's my take on that. Past
I
lives, you
agree
do.
with I agree with that person, Brindle. Yeah, because um, yeah, and I agree with you because if for myself, my with my QHHT gal, I've shared things because they do the whole little formula stuff. I've shared things that she's like, "Uh, but what are you wearing?" I'm not wearing anything, and it's true. You do past lives do not mean this as a life. Whoever wrote that, thank you very much. Because the women that I've talked to that we've gone to this QHHT girl, we have said some wild things that, yes, it is not this human life. Our soul has incarnated as other things.
Yeah,
So that's all. I don't want to get into it right now, but I just want to say thank you to that person who wrote that because for myself, that is truth with a capital T.
yeah. Thank you, and thank you guys all for your comments. I'm trying to keep up with all of them. We got some really good stuff in here. Uh, Thank you, George. And like George said earlier, until it's proven scientifically, which time travel has been proven scientifically. They can't travel forward, but they can travel backwards. This is why you see stuff like laptops and stone carvings over in Mesopotamia, and we're seeing helicopters in Egypt. This is time travel. You can go backwards. They just can't go forward yet. It has been proven.
But Nostradamus did, according to this woman, Dolores Cannon. I know you've heard of her. She's
Yeah,
written many, many, many books. She's no longer on this plane, but literally Nostradamus moved forward with this chick through the blue light into this void. When you listen to the books, I like listening to because then I can change the speed and make it go faster. So I got things to do. But for those who don't have time to read. So I'm telling you, this Nostradamus guy did travel into the future. And I'm thinking that there's other people that made these predictions or see things. They're seeing the future. I have
yeah,
no idea. I don't know how to vouch it's real. I don't know how to verify it or justify it. That's irrelevant for me.
right.
The
Yeah,
fact and the idea that this man went and traveled up till the 1988 and were able to have conversations in this cloudy mist is what they call it. It's really kind of interesting to think about the idea because I know that we're already practicing it when we think about somebody and all of a sudden they call. So that's the future. When we somehow, and do you see my correlation here? When we think that's part of being in the future when something comes to our mind. So
yeah.
I kind of I want to entertain the fact that, yeah, we can perhaps travel into the future.
Well, definitely through meditation and astral traveling, but as far as like moving physical, tangible objects through time and space, Nikola Tesla actually did jump a Navy vessel through time. But what happened is bodies ended up melded into this. I can't keep up with the comments. I am so sorry, y'all, but thank you so much. So Nikola
We will
Tesla.
respond after.
Yeah, we'll
We can
respond
respond
after. I'm gonna go
comments.
through the comments back here and check it out. You guys are putting some wonderful things, stuff
Thank
about
you.
samsara and moksha, spiritual liberation. Absolutely. So, but Nikola Tesla actually did jump time, and you can only jump backwards. But he only did it for 10 seconds. He made a Navy ship go backwards in time 10 seconds when they were trying to make it go forward in time 10 seconds.
Mm.
And it happened to people got people got stuck in the walls where the atoms, when they reconnected, they were all scrambled up, killed like a whole entire fleet of people on a Navy ship. But as far as meditation and channeling and traveling, you can go to any time, any dimension, any Earth or any other world. You can go to Venus, you could go to Mars. all through your imagination, through astral travel. And then we bring back information, and that's where you find the validation for yourself, because nobody can validate it for you except for you. And you're not going to prove it to anybody either. You just bring this information back. It comes to be fact, and you learn, wow, I did pull something. Let's see. Leela said, 3 years ago, I had a very strong feeling knowing that I come from a place where only queens and kings live, where no one is subordinate to anyone, and there is only one law, the law of love. Yeah,
Mm,
that, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's beautiful.
I'm sorry. Hey, it gets me every time, the notifications. So we're seeing my squirrel mind. How about I just post some tarot cards really quick?
Yeah, but what is the question? What is the question you're going to ask the cards about time?
What? Let's see. Actually, how tarot works here too is you guys in chat hold a question in your mind about time. And
Mm.
what do we want to find out about the Empress? Oh, what can we see here in the near future? What is coming up in 2026?
I had a word that came to me when you were shuffling. You asked the question about time, and it came up endless.
Endless. Ooh.
I don't know, but that was a word that came loud.
So it shows here some things not working out. Actually, some negative things. Queen of Wands reverse, which could mean very hasty and very crude type energy that will knock people out of their emotional stability, that leads to an ending. So we're kind of seeing that, we're kind of seeing that in the news today, where like there's a lot of controversy going on. People are fighting over really ridiculous things. Fake creeps. Well, thank you. We'd love to hear from you. You know, we would love to hear from you. If you believe that our channel is fake, I would love to see you start your own channel and hear what's on your mind. But until then, we'll just take you out of ours. Remove. There you go. So, anyways, we're seeing in our news today a lot of controversy. We're seeing things prepping for a war. So that we see this right here in the cards with the Queen of Swords inverted, King of Cups inverted, and 10 of Swords. So, if you have any questions, but at the end of all of that comes a healing. Something will align from this, because out of everything bad, there will always be something good that comes to it. So, this is the card of balancing things out and following hope and intuition. So, now that we've done that and we have a few trolls, I'm going to go through and catch up. 3 years
Okay.
ago. Huh?
Yeah. I time is just a really interesting topic to talk about. I
Yeah.
mean, there's going to be people that are going to disagree, and there's people that are going to agree. And it's all from the degree of one's own perception, is what I'm thinking. And yeah, I think I think that's why it makes us all individuals.
Yeah.
Is, I love this saying that it doesn't matter. A flower on the tree doesn't worry or pay attention to what the flower next to it is doing. It just does what it's meant to do, and that's bloom. And so if we just stay in our own, Bob calls it, stay in your own lane, Jamie. If I stay in my own lane, um, that works for a lot of people. But sometimes John and I only do this because we really, really just want to help inspire people and maybe give you a little gold nugget. Um,
And
and
it's
every day
actually
we get gold nuggets.
our enjoyment, our entertainment. We enjoy these topics. So, I'm not here trying to prove to you guys that I'm something more than just a man. I'm not trying to, like we have here, men are just children. These are all words that come from hurt. We understand. There was a time in my life where I trolled people on YouTube as well. So that's why I calmly see it coming back through. And I don't really, it's all in your state of mind. If you feel offended in any way while coming here, take a look at where that's coming from. You obviously are wounded. Someone has hurt your ego. Someone has made you feel belittled and small in your life. And you don't feel that you have any power. That's why you speak through a anonymous platform without where I can't see you. You can clearly see me. So it's very easy for you to judge through the camera because no one can look at you and we see that you're hurt. And that's why we do these things. We're not rocket science. I'm not a scientist. I have some college education and I was a construction plumber. I've been studying the occult arts since I was a little kid. It's been my passion and my hobby. And it's what brings me hope in life. It's what makes me feel connected to God and spirit. The time loops and all that, I've said from the beginning, this is just one of my beliefs. One of my beliefs from the things that are unearthed on this planet, the technology that we have found that is beyond what we can understand to our understandings now. So, to all the trolls that were in the group today, I feel for you. I really do. And I send love, understanding, and healing out to you. And may you find some way to go through your soul and release the judgment because you're only judging yourself. I know I was stumbling through conversations as I was trying to keep up with the chat. I've never had this much chat go on in my group. So it was a little distracting. Thank you for pointing out that it was making me sound funny. I appreciate that. And may you go in peace. All right. So then why the tarot cards? I pulled the tarot cards because I saw the trolling going on in the chat room. And it could definitely be just people who needed healing. So
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
note,
And thank you everyone that does support this simple conversations. Um, if you're not like-minded, then this doesn't resonate with you, then that's okay.
yeah,
Just share it with a friend or go to another channel. But that's what we were talking about, that why we're doing that is because we're so grateful. I mean, I just read something today, and I really like it, but the more I read the emails, like, oh, full of hate. It's hate, hate, hate. But the one thing I learned is that even though we get rid of the weeds in our lives, there's a lot of we're still in the year of the snake. So there's just a little more shedding for a couple more weeks. We are taking out the weeds. We're weeding our garden. Well, whether you're taking a hula hoe and just whacking them off, what about the roots? What about the roots of why that anger, that fear, that unworthy feeling? Those are roots. Shame, guilt. I mean, there's a lot of them. So I thought that was really nice. Instead of just weed whacking the top, have I, Jamie, have you gotten and pulled those roots out? So I thought, wow, this is perfect for the end of the year of the snake and the beginning of the fire horse. That, oh, it's for myself. I've been telling everybody it is going to be a mighty year of change, a mighty year of exposure, a mighty year of things we don't want any part of. But guess what? We're here. So
yeah.
I, I just want to say, Yeah, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, and every day if you get a little nugget or you see the license plate or the number 444 555, whatever
Exactly.
fills you with that yumminess. This morning for me, it was just being thankful that I'm not in Iran. Thank you, I'm not in Minnesota. Thank you, I'm not anywhere here. I'm in my bed. I am safe, and
Yeah.
there was this a silent calmness. So is that uh, uh, is that part of time? Yes. Is it just reflecting in the space that surrounds me? Yeah, okay. But I
Yeah.
really, I'm not going to stop sharing,
No.
and it'll be just the right time because my phone is blowing up for saying, "Can you do this? Can you pray
Yeah.
up? Can you send a vibration? Can you connect me to this QH person? Can you connect me to that person?" It's all about community coming awake. We haven't had the stars and the planets aligned since 1966. I talked about this last week. And now we're coming into that same alignment where there's revolution. There's a lot of things coming up, and it's all about emotion. And so there are feelings in the ocean of life.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the trollers came. That was kind of a different
Yeah.
experience.
Well, it kind of bled through why they're trolling. The very religious, fear-based mentality. Where,
Mm.
like Jamie says, we're a community. We come together. So absolutely. If you're not like us, then you can leave. But sticking around to troll in our chat, it still gives me ratings and views.
Me too.
So thank you. Thank you for your hate speech. And Nora Nicole, I'm not trying to disregard your chat. You've seen how many chats have come in. What was your question so we can look at it? 907 Thunder. See, a lot of people do believe that. Like, God is, if God saw you do, what is that? That's judgmental. That's fear based mentality. We're not religious people. Can I ask? Yes, you can ask me a question. We're spiritual people. There is a difference. Spiritual is liberated from the fear and confinement and belittling of a religion that has a chokehold on your soul. Mm. Um,
Must be a doozy question because she's taken a while.
right. Praise Jesus. Yeah. Which God, right?
But
Your God. God
I
is an
thought
all
it's
entire.
everything.
Yeah,
Is
so
everything.
that's kind of something that's funny to me. If religions believe that God is everything, yet they still judge and condemn people for differences. I'll bet you he's still against the gays, and he's probably a Republican out there wanting to harm innocent people. So whatever. I
No,
don't know
I
how to
will
block his.
correct you right now. My hackle just went up. I'm
Okay.
human. I'm in this dimension,
Yeah.
but you are only stating that God condemns magic because someone told you that. God itself has never. The God that is in everything that I know, I call God, is pure love. So I think it's funny that they say God condemns. No, man condemns. Church
Man condemn.
condemns.
Yep.
All those, all those naysayers that are outside thinking that they're higher than me because they've been told that because of where their religious beliefs is. No, I beg to differ. I think it's funny because I believe in a loving God. I know the book says eye for an eye. The book says that there's a lot of things, but truly, what really was an eye opener for me was, I go back to Dan Brown books. Holy moly, holy moly. that
Until, well,
the
he's just
secret
that guy.
secrets, the
That guy's
secret of
just
secrets, the Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown is revealing things. There is so much going on this planet that we humans do not even don't even know because they don't want us to. But the thing is, um, and I don't want to ruin the book because it's a darn good book, that they said, how is it that there is a God that can allow its beloved son to suffer on a cross for 3 days and 3 nights? Oh, I just went, wow, that was crazy to think about that. So, anyway, I'm with you, John. We could cut our live off and then
yeah.
we'll figure out how to block these naysayers. But you know what?
Well,
Love is the
he
answer.
he turned into
Love
an
is the
atheist now. He turned into an atheist now, so that just shows he's just somebody who gets off of people and entertaining his thoughts. Nora was talking, and I did see this. I'm sorry I missed this. A lot of comments
answer
came through.
question.
Your question is when your spirit guides, when you ask them to knock on something and they did, they do. It's really interesting when you build a connection with your spirit guides, when you're tapped out of in and you're not really connected to the fear anymore, they will communicate with you in all sorts of ways. You can have them tap like my mason jars. Sometimes they will click when I'm on the right path. I was trying to ask, I had spirit guides knock on something when I asked them to twice. Yeah, so that's just you connected to them. Write down. One thing I do is when little synchronicities like that happen is I write them down, take notes, and then over a course of 3 months you go back and you read, and they usually have a long message for you. Something
Mm.
that is really they're trying to guide you in a direction towards.
Wow, wow. Well, I know a friend, she called me yesterday. She goes, I asked, and lo and behold, there was 2 pennies that were outside the door. I get that must have been their secret code, were 2 pennies. And I think one of the viewers, she sees dimes come up, and there's people that see hummingbirds, and then there's music. And so it's kind of playful. This is all fun and play. That, you know, we're in a universe, and I say this till the day I die, that the universe is the school. This is where we come to learn. This is not where we come to judge. And this is a place where we have fun and we
Yeah,
get to play and we get to imagine and daydream just like a child because they were there, I'm telling myself. And remember,
yeah.
these guys
Yeah,
can't be quiet. Let's tap out. I'm ready to tap out. I
yeah,
don't
we
want
got it.
audio is better than nowhere. I'm
Right.
out.
Take care.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, trolls, for rating my views up. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I love it. It's going to give me more algorithm views, and my channel will flourish even better for you. So you're greatly appreciated too. So everyone else, all of you family, soul tribe that's out there, us like-minded individuals, thank you for your time. And if I missed any of your comments or questions, I'm sorry. We had trolls in the troll box today, so we'll get back to you next week. So thank you guys for your time. See you later. Bye-bye.
Stay safe.
Love you guys.